If you want a $200 Amazon gift card, all you have to do is give this show a 5-star rating and review, and I'll be sending someone this special gift. Just be sure to include your Instagram handle at the end of the review, because that is the way I will be reaching out and perhaps sliding into your DMs. So pause this episode and rate and review for your chance to get a $200 Amazon gift card. Hey guys, welcome back to the Digest This podcast. I'm your host, Bethany Cameron. And in this week's Bite of Knowledge, we are talking about NSAIDs and what are they, first of all. And we're going to talk about the long-term effects of taking them. And most likely you've taken them, and you may have even taken some within the last 24 hours. But before we get to this week's Bite of Knowledge, shout out to podcast listener JWIEGAND92. They wrote, "It's been a couple years since I started following Bethany/Little Sipper, and I'm glad I did. I have learned so much about food and digestive health from her. I've been slowly incorporating small changes she suggested over time, and it's opened my eyes to a new way of living well. Love that her content and now podcast has always been an easy to digest, pun intended, way. It's informative, but not overwhelming. I would and have recommend to anyone looking to improve their health." Thank you so much for that wonderful review. And as always, I love hearing and reading all of your reviews here on any podcast platform that you listen to. Now let's get to today's Bite of Knowledge. Hey guys, I actually need to tell you that if you're not subscribed to my newsletters, they come out every Friday and they're called Friday Finds. This is information that only my subscribers get in their inbox. I share new food finds I don't share on Instagram, food news, food trends, and products that aren't even on the market yet, but I've got the scoop. I also share special discounts and other recipes throughout the week. Again, only to my newsletter subscribers. This is not published anywhere else and cannot be found on my blog. I do not and never have shared any of your information. This is just another way to stay connected. So be sure you're in the know and subscribe to my weekly newsletters by going to littlesipper.com/subscribe and enter your email. That's it. So pause this episode and go to LILSIPPER.com/subscribe. You likely have taken Advil, ibuprofen, Motrin, or other anti-inflammatory drugs, which are also known as NSAIDs, to relieve occasional inflammation. You're not alone, and yes, even I have taken Advil in my lifetime, but try to avoid it at all costs. And according to the American Gastroeconomical Association, more than 30 million Americans use NSAIDs on a regular basis, and many even every day, sometimes twice a day. However, these over-the-counter medications are not a cure, but just a Band-Aid, and have some serious side effects that wreak havoc on our gut. In fact, NSAIDs can actually have the opposite effect and cause inflammation, even though they are, quote, considered anti-inflammatory. But guys, don't worry. You're listening to the right episode, because I'm here to give you the tools you need for gut repair after taking Advil and all those other NSAIDs. But before I tell you about the gut repair tools, I want to touch on what these NSAIDs actually are and how they work, as well as the side effects of taking them. Leaky gut being one of them. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, aka NSAIDs, spelled NSAID. These drugs are used in conventional medicine to treat inflammation, reduce pain, especially in the joints, and decrease fever. But unfortunately, NSAIDs just offer a short-term solution and don't get to the root cause of your issue. They are just a Band-Aid to cover up the pain you're experiencing from an underlying issue. Now, let's talk about the different types, because I bet you didn't know or realize that some of the medications in your medicine cabinet are actually NSAIDs. There are entire aisles full of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. You likely know about the more popular ones, such as Advil and Motrin. Ibuprofen is by far the most popular. However, did you know that aspirin and Aleve are also classified as such? These medications are used to treat short-term back, neck, and muscle pain because they reduce inflammation. But long-term use comes with an array of side effects, including leaky gut syndrome, irritable bowel syndrome, and increases your risk of developing Crohn's disease. So how do they work? They work by stopping the production of hormone-like chemicals in your body, which triggers inflammation and fever. Inflammation is actually an immune system response to protect your body from bacteria or injury. And when your immune system is working optimally, acute inflammation is a critical weapon. This type of inflammation is localized and subsides once the threat is gone. NSAIDs block a specific enzyme which produces prostaglandins. While providing temporary relief from whatever injury or pain you may have, it may seem like a good thing, but the issue is that prostaglandins also decrease stomach acid production and protect your gut lining. This can have an indirect effect on your immune system as well. And most of us know our gut health and immune system are allies in the fight against viruses and infection, since 80% of our body's immune system lives in the gut. So when your gut is weakened, so is your immune system. Now let's dive a little deeper on how NSAIDs impact the gut. All right, now all medications come with a risk of side effects, and these over-the-counter anti-inflammatories are no different. Side effects from NSAIDs are more common if you are taking high doses for long periods of time. And a long period of time is no more than 3 times a week. Common side effects of NSAIDs are dizziness, feeling lightheaded, vertigo, brain fog, and mild headaches. However, the most common side effects are gut issues. Now, these over-the-counter medications can cause bleeding, inflammation, and ulcers in the stomach and small intestine. However, recent research suggests that this is the result of dysbiosis, or changes in the gut microbiome balance brought on by these medications. Studies also show that the combination of medications you ingest are reflected in the types of bacteria that populate your gut. In one study, ibuprofen users were discovered to have a family of bacteria that includes E. coli, salmonella, as well as other disease-causing bacteria. Scientists believe that each type of NSAID can affect different bacteria in the gut, causing a different imbalance depending on which one you take. And because each person's gut microbiome is unique, the effects may vary significantly from one person to another. So not only can NSAIDs affect bacterial imbalance, they can, of course, cause digestive discomfort, which is the most commonly reported side effect of these medications. Most common are gas, feeling bloated, stomach pain, constipation, and diarrhea because, of course, they disrupt the enzymes that protect your gut lining. That's why if you do take an anti-inflammatory drug such as Advil, you must take a quality digestive enzyme such as my own I created with Nuzest. Shameless plug there, but let me tell you, they do work, and many of my followers have told me that same testimony. Now let's talk about heartburn and GERD. GERD is short for gastroesophageal reflux disease. It's a condition that develops when the contents of the stomach returns to the esophagus. The most common symptom is heartburn, one of the many risks of NSAIDs. GERD symptoms are significantly more common among NSAID users than non-users. Both these effects are caused by the fact that NSAIDs irritate the lining of your esophagus as well as the intestinal lining. Now, without going too much into the other side effects caused by these medications, they are still worth mentioning, which is gastrointestinal ulcers, bleeding, acute colitis, autoimmune disease, and leaky gut. NSAIDs not only cause leaky gut, but they can also be one of the greatest barriers to leaky gut repair. Now, leaky gut syndrome is when tight junctions that hold your intestinal wall together become loose. While it's naturally semi-permeable, certain factors can puncture large holes in your intestinal wall, allowing toxins, microbes, and undigested food particles to escape into your bloodstream. And these medications increase your intestinal permeability, which means they make leaky gut worse by widening the tight junctions in your gut cell wall. This means that more toxins and more food particles get into your bloodstream faster. Anxiety, insomnia affect nearly 70 million Americans every year. And research suggests sleep deprivation can actually cause anxiety disorders. But also, anxiety can cause sleep disorders. It's like the chicken or the egg, and it's a vicious cycle. I've personally struggled with both to the point where I was seriously contemplating medication. But before giving in to meds, I opted to try CBD, specifically NSAIDs. NSAIDs full spectrum CBD tincture is certified 100% organic, it's outdoor grown and cold extracted, which means no harmful pesticides or chemicals are involved in the growing or extraction process, creating a pure, highly effective tincture full of all the cannabinoids without making you high. NSAID has been a part of my life for over 2 years strong because 1, it actually helps, and 2, NSAID is fully transparent about everything that goes into all their products. They do third-party lab testing in every batch and number each batch sold. Their slow cold extraction process does take more time than other CBD companies, and they know that they may not be producing as much as fast as the other guys. But I personally prefer that over other brands that just want to pump out product left and right. That's what makes NSAID truly different from all the rest. That's why I highly recommend NSAID for anyone suffering with anxiety or sleep deprivation. It truly does work. Become the best version of yourself and get 15% off NSAID products with code DIGEST. Go to helloned.com/digest or enter code DIGEST at checkout. That's helloned.com/digest. helloned.com/digest and get 15% off. Thank you, NSAID, for sponsoring this part of the show and offering my listeners a natural remedy for some of life's most common health issues. Now, I wouldn't share all this information without sharing how to promote a healthy inflammatory response and, of course, how to promote it naturally. And there are natural ways to support your body's inflammatory response without having to turn to gut-damaging NSAIDs. Now, curcumin is one of the 3 main active compounds that give turmeric its bright yellow color and has been shown to support a healthy inflammatory response thanks to its many powerful properties. A supplement recommendation to facilitate a healthy inflammatory response and support your immune system is by taking turmeric capsules or pills or consuming a turmeric tea. My favorite turmeric blend is by Further Food. They have a vegan-friendly turmeric tonic with additional superfoods as well as black pepper to activate the turmeric. I love personally blending the superfood turmeric tonic with a little ghee and gelatin to make a sugar-free, frothy turmeric latte. Omega-3 fatty acids are also an amazing anti-inflammatory. These fatty acids can be found in wild-caught salmon, canned sardines, pumpkin seeds, eggs, and avocados. Omega-3s have more than just anti-inflammatory benefits. However, their biggest benefit is facilitating a healthy inflammatory response. And other anti-inflammatory foods are berries, particularly blueberries, green tea, extra virgin olive oil, 100% dark chocolate, no sugar, anchovies, and walnuts. And now that you have some insight on inflammatory responses, I'm going to share 4 nutrients to help heal leaky gut. So as mentioned earlier, leaky gut syndrome has now become more known to doctors as well as patients and happens when the gut wall is compromised and contains holes, allowing unwanted toxins, microbes, undigested food, and foreign objects to pass through the lining of the intestines. This can cause a number of issues, including brain fog, acne or other skin conditions, chronic digestive issues such as gas, bloating, constipation, and diarrhea, weight gain, allergies, excessive fatigue, and even hormonal and mood imbalances. Now, just because you may experience those symptoms doesn't mean you have leaky gut. However, it doesn't mean you don't have it. And it may be a good idea to get it checked out by your doctor where they can perform tests. So here, I'm going to go over some of the most research proven compounds that are effective at repairing the gastrointestinal tract and help heal leaky gut. Now, number 1 is L-glutamine. So L-glutamine is something I have been taking personally for years. It's been shown to help a damaged gut and even help rebuild the lining in your intestines and even help improve wound healing. L-glutamine is also beneficial for collagen synthesis, and glutamine is partly broken down into proline, which is an essential amino acid for your own collagen production and enhancing a solid gut lining. I actually have an entire bite of knowledge on just L-glutamine. So you can go back and check out the bites of knowledge titled L-glutamine. This is something that it's, I think, like 10 minutes. It's definitely worth the listen. So L-glutamine, number 1. Number 2 is ginger. So ginger is well known to treat nausea, menstruation pain, and bloating. This is all due to ginger's ability to relieve contractions in the gut and help reduce intestinal inflammation. It's also been shown to help with gastric emptying and mobility in the gut. Number 3 is pea protein. So pea protein is great for individuals with autoimmunity and food sensitivities, as well as vegans. This protein is also one of the best foods for improving the microbiome. In a study, pea protein was shown to increase both the good bacteria, it's the bifidobacterium and lactobacillus bacterium. And it's also been shown to raise short chain fatty acid production in the gut, which helps reduce overall inflammation. Great if you have leaky gut, but also just great in general. However, make sure when choosing a pea protein that it does not contain additional additives like stevia, natural flavorings, and gums, which can have a negative effect on the gut. So if you know me by now, I have my very own digestive support protein in collaboration with Nuzest. We created this back in 2018, the digestive support line particularly, and you'll see that on the website. You'll see it in grocery stores, and it's one of their top 3 sellers out of all their products. And the testimonies that come in from my Instagram and emails are just amazing. And I wish I could just share them all. So many people have told me it's helped their Crohn's, it's helped their colitis, it's helped their leaky gut, it's helped their just overall digestion, it's helped their constipation. I could go on. So it has L-glutamine in it as well. So when creating this, I specifically added L-glutamine, knowing that L-glutamine was a gut healer. And Also, pea protein in and of itself is a gut healer. So in addition to that, I wanted to add probiotics. So I chose Bacillus coagulans, which is a probiotic known to help fight off candida and yeast overgrowth specifically. It does not need refrigeration, which if you are taking a probiotic, it shouldn't need refrigeration, because if a probiotic needs refrigeration, then how is that going to survive your 98.6 degree body temperature? It's going to be dead by the time you swallow it. So these probiotics do not need refrigeration. You can even bake with it. So those three things, the pea protein, the Bacillus coagulans, and the L-glutamine in this protein, in addition to there's no natural flavors, there's no stevia, there's no gums, obviously there's no food coloring or anything like that. And so that is the specific formulation. We also get the pea protein from Europe, which they don't spray glyphosate in Europe. It's actually illegal. So there's no glyphosate. There's not even a chance of glyphosate runoff, because it's just illegal in Europe altogether. So there's not even a chance of water or wind runoff. So you can take that, and knowing that it is safe for consumption. It's safe for pregnant women, safe for kids. So that pea protein I would definitely recommend. You can go to NuZest. It's NuZest-USA.com. So NuZest-USA.com/Little Sipper, LILSIPPER, or you can do /digest to get a special discount. Now, number 4 is bone broth and gelatin. And thankfully, bone broth and gelatin is more widely available and accepted these days, and for good reason. The benefits are through the roof. Bone broth is full of protein, contains little to no animal fat, and contains certain tannic acids known to help heal and seal the gut. I personally love the taste of bone broth, but if you can't stomach it, Further Food sells gelatin that's been tested for lead with one of the best ingredient sourcing I've found. I put their gelatin in my coffee every single morning, as well as cook and bake with it. You can use code Little Sipper, LILSIPP, on furtherfood.com to get their gelatin or any of their grass-fed collagen. Also, I want to point out, if you're not sure if you have leaky gut, here are 3 third-party tests or locations that you can go to online, that you can go and get tested for to see if you have leaky gut. So you can go to Genova Diagnostics, and the second one is BioHealth Lab, and the third one is Life Extension. So Genova Diagnostics, BioHealth Lab, and Life Extension. You can go to any of their website, and they sell tests for leaky gut that they'll mail to you, and you can just test at home. So I hope this episode was helpful and gave you some insight and options to help you or someone you know in your health journey. And if it was, please do share it with your friends and family, and let me know in the comment section and leave a rating and review. I'm always looking to improve, and share it on Instagram. Tag me so that I can see you listened. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate all your support, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to this episode of Digest This. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review in your podcast app to let us know. If you're ever wondering how you can support me and this podcast, sharing it with your friends and family is the best way. This is a Resonant Media production produced by Drake Peterson and edited by Chris McCone. To email the show, message us at digestthispod@gmail.com. See you next time. The content of this show is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for individual medical and mental health advice, and does not constitute a provider-patient relationship. As always, talk to your doctor or health team first.